Multicaster Teemo has spiked in power after the recent patch and has become one of the highest win rate comps in the game. And in this video, I'll teach you everything that you need to know about this comp to succeed. The build is pretty linear, as we always want to have 4 Multicaster and 3 Yordle. This is so we're applying the dot damage from Teemo onto as many targets as possible. And we also need 3 Yordle to get 4-star Teemo, which further increases our power by a ton. Since we need many 3 stars, this is a slow roll comp, and we will be going for Teemo 3-star plus 2 more 3 stars so we reach 4-star Teemo. And we will be doing that by slow rolling at level 6 with this board. And once you've hit all the 3 stars you need, you will push levels and eventually end up with this board at level 8. There are still a few things we can do to change things up, but it will depend on the augments we get and the rest of the units we hit, and we'll get into that later in the video. Teemo is our main carry, so we prioritize making items for him first. He has one core item, and that is blue buff. Since he has 50 mana in total, this is decreased to 40, and if we get a kill, he gets 10 additional mana, meaning an even quicker recast. Sojin is the replacement for blue buff, but it's worse as you don't get the extra mana from kills. The second item wants to be Gunblade. This is because we need to heal up our limited frontline in this comp. Other items like BT and Hodge don't have that effect, so keep in mind that Gunblade is there for Teemo to work as an ambulance for our team. The third item wants to be a damage item. This can be Jewel Gauntlet, Giant Slayer, or Guard Breaker. We get a ton of base damage from 4-star Teemo and Strategist, so we need multiplicative damage to scale off that. Therefore, we need to build one of those 3 items. Obviously, other AP items like Deathcap and Archangels are not bad on Teemo, but they are significantly worse than the other 3 mentioned. After you made Teemo items, we need to make either Ionic Spark or a Static Shiv. This is to shred magic resistance of enemy teams so that Teemo can deal even more damage. The Spark goes on Swain, and the Shiv usually goes on Taliyah. After that, make tank items for Swain. He wants items that give him resistances like Stoneplate, Bramble, Dragon's Claw, or Redemption. This is because he already gets a ton of HP from the spell, so we want to give him more resistances for more effective HP. You will also place Spark on Swain if you make that over Static Shiv. If you get a Spatula, then you're not really excited to make anything, although Noxus Spat is not bad. Since we are running Kled and Swain, we activate 3 Noxus with an emblem, so if you hit this, put the emblem on Taliyah for more power. The win condition for this comp is to hit 3 3-stars and get 3 good items for Teemo. The best legends to run to obtain that goal is Pengu or Lee Sin. Since we need 3 3-stars, we will be slow rolling for a long time, which means we will be taking a lot more damage throughout the game. And Pengu will give us augments that heal us up and allow us to slow roll for longer, which is incredibly helpful. Lee Sin is also great as he provides us with more shop refreshes so that we can hit everything faster. Both of these legends work great, so pick whichever one of these you want. The best portals for this comp are Aaron Mount, Maris of Magnum, Targon Prime, Scuttle Puddle, God Willow's Grove, Unstable Rift, and Jace's Workshop. And the best augments for this comp are Perfected Repetition, Trade Sector, Golden Ticket, Magic Wand, Pandora's Items, Strategist Heart, Return on Investment, Frequent Flyer, Army Building, Jeweled Lotus, Healing Orbs, Contagion, and Metabolic Accelerator. I mentioned a lot of augments there, and the best ones out of those are Perfected Repetition, Golden Ticket, Magic Wand, Pandora's Items, Frequent Flyer, and Jeweled Lotus. If all that info was a lot to take in, then check out the cheat sheet for this comp. It's available for patrons and YouTube members. Here is the quirky cheat sheet from a previous set, so you know what to expect for the Teemo reroll cheat sheet that is available right now. The best case in the early game is to get an early Teemo with Taliyah and Swain, to get both Multicaster and Strategist active. But hitting 3 specific 2 costs in the early game can be hard, so hitting a strong frontline with Teemo will do more than well enough in the early game. If not, you can also utilize other item carriers like Cassiopeia and even Samira until you hit Teemo. And once we have found our comp, we need to make items. Since Teemo's items are not very flexible, you need to avoid using up components that build into blue buff and Gunblade, as those are core to the build. And from here, you want to win streak if possible, but going for a loss streak also works, as we can often end that by rolling on stage 3 too. And if you want to learn more about how to play the early game, then check out my guide, where I go in depth on that subject. After the Krugs round, you should have more direction towards a comp, and the general requirements to play Teemo is to have at least 1 tier for blue buff, as well as another component for Gunblade. Additionally, we want to have 2 Multicaster active on stage 3-1, so we can hit specific augments for them on stage 3-2. The general goal in the mid game depends on whether you went for a loss streak or a win streak in the early game, Sometimes if you get Teemo, Swain, and Talia in the early game, you will be able to win streak and maintain it with good items, but if you're missing many of them, you will usually end up loss streaking. You can roll a bit on stage 3-2 at level 6 to try to hit some 2 stars, and while you're rolling there, also look for units for our slow roll board. And once you're done rolling at stage 3-2, you will get back up to 50 gold and start slow rolling for 3 stars. Your 3-star priority is Teemo, Swain, then go for whichever you can hit at Atalia, Poppy, and Kled. The only 3 stars we really want are Teemo and Swain, and the last one is whichever you can 3-star so that we can activate 4-star Teemo. Once you reach stage 4, you need to roll down to 2-star all the 2-cost champions on your board if you haven't done so already. Although if you are high HP, you can be greedy and wait. Besides that, you will keep slow rolling for 3 stars. You will slow roll until you get to around 30 HP. Here you will need to all in for your 3 stars. The reason for the 30 HP mark is so that we have 2 to 3 lives left, and we avoid getting knocked out if we run into one bad matchup. Once you hit Teemo 4-star, you will start pushing levels. At level 7, you will always add in Sona to get 4 multicasters. Then at level 8, you will always add in Jarvan for his traits and his spell. The extra damage from Strategist is very helpful, and the extra item from Demacia can drastically increase our team's value. If you don't have 3-star Kled, he also can be replaced by Heimerdinger. Make sure to take the self-repair module, as we already get burned through Teemo and shred through our items. Besides that, there is close to nothing we can do that make our team stronger. The only thing to add in left is either Scion or K'Sante at level 9 if you are able to get that far. General positioning with this comp looks like this. We have Swain dead center to make sure that enemies don't easily get through on one side or the other. Jarvan is either on the left or right outskirt of our front line. This way we can easily make him jump on the right or left side. Our backline is split up so that Teemo doesn't get hit by a ton of CC, and we want to have allies also get hit by Sona's spell so that she can increase their attack speed. Now moving on to some in-depth examples. Against the first guy, the big threat is Karma and Ahri. We want to split up our team as much as possible to reduce the splash damage coming in from Karma, Lissandra, Ahri, as well as Ryze on some portals. We also want Jarvan to jump to the same side as where Karma is. Against the second guy, the big threat is Lux. We have Teemo on the opposite side of the enemy Jarvan to stay safe. We also want to make sure that our Jarvan jumps on the Lux. Looking at the enemy Lux, we want her to not target our most valuable tank right away. Therefore, we position our Poppy to be the closest target to the Lux. Against the third guy, the big threat is Kai'Sa. There isn't a ton we can do here positioning wise, besides making sure that the enemy frontline stays in a clumped line so that Vel'Koz gets the most value possible from her spell, as well as Teemo Shrimps splashing into the other enemies as well. You can also check out this guide in a written format over on Tactor, and if you want to see more of my written guides over there, then check out my profile to see more of the other content I've created on that platform. Thank you so much for watching. If you learned something, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. If you want cheat sheets for any of my comp guides, they're available for you to members and patrons, and the links to join those are down in the description. And if you want to get better at TFT, join the Discord. We got over 9,000 other players there who are hungry to climb. And if you want to get coached by me, the information is over on the Discord server as well. So take care and see you in the next video.